Hello, today I'm going to be making a CreepyPasta video, and it's about the Tails doll. And I know lots and lots of people know what the Tails doll is, and I'm going to share my story of the Tails doll. And just a side note, these pictures even creeped me out for like maybe 10 seconds, but still, it creeped me out for a while. And just look at the thing, just like, look at it. It's adorable, but creepy, like, ugh. But anyway, let's get to the story. Oh, whoops. I'm in paint, if you can't already tell. I didn't have nowhere else to put these pictures, so whatever. So let's begin the story. Dr. Eggman hated Sonic and his friends so much that he made voodoo dolls of them. But there was one thing about the Tails doll that just was so special to him. Not special in like, I'm gonna hug you, love you way, but just hatred. He burned all the other dolls because he hated them so much, but he had a special sort of liking for it. So he used a little bit of metal and put a little gem on there for decoration, and just used it as a voodoo doll like he normally does, and stabbed it with a couple needles until the stuffing came out and he sewed it again. But what he didn't realize is that the gem that he put on for decoration was actually a blood gem. The blood gem possessed the doll, and so then he was able to move, which was oddly strange. But one night, while Dr. Eggman was asleep, the Tails doll moved itself. Yeah, you heard me. It moved itself. Since it's possessed, it can move. And it moved out of Dr. Eggman's ship and fell right onto the doorstep of two little boys. The boys' mom and dad were out, and their babysitter was at the store. And they heard a little knocking at the door, opened the door, and saw the Tails doll sitting there, just laying there dirty from all the dirt that it landed on before it came down to their house. The two boys picked it up and washed it off, put it on a shelf, and thought that maybe their babysitter had sent it for them just to keep them comfortable while she was gone. They noticed that the doll was utterly creepy, but they tried to ignore it. They figured it was just a little doll that was hand-stitched, and which it was, but they just thought it was a little doll that was supposed to be for hugging and sleeping with, like a teddy bear. They didn't realize the doll was possessed until the babysitter came home and it moved. One of the boys, named Noah, looked at the doll and thought he was hallucinating. He looked at the doll again after he blinked and saw it move again. He kept blinking and rubbing his eyes until he thought he was just imagining things. But then, when he opened his eyes again, it moved straight into his hands. The Tails doll still had a couple needles in him, but they were so deep you couldn't see them. But he pulled out a needle and jabbed the babysitter after it floated over it, and jabbed the babysitter after it floated away from Noah. Noah was so shocked, he went and tried to go and get a knife from the kitchen to kill the Tails doll. But whenever he tried to stab it, it would just move and dodge, so it was literally impossible to kill it. After he tried really, really hard to get to the Tails doll, it went upstairs. He didn't know why it went upstairs, but it went upstairs. The other boy, named John, he was in the other room, and the Tails doll could sense him, and he was his next victim. After he got into the room, John thought he was hallucinating as well. So he blinked his eyes as the Tails doll kept getting closer and closer to him. After it got super close, it jabbed one of its needles into the boy. The boy screamed aloud, but the babysitter was hurt, but ran up there to see what was going on. The Tails doll literally killed the babysitter by jabbing one of its other needles into her heart a couple times. She bleeded very badly, but after that, since she was jabbed in the heart, her heart stopped. Noah ran up the stairs with the knife still in his hand and chucked it at the Tails doll, but missed once again. The Tails doll took another needle that was still in him and jabbed it till he died as well. The only person left was John. He locked every single door and threw the Tails doll outside because he could actually grab it since it was a good racer and he could run very well. After he caught the Tails doll and threw it outside, he locked every single door and every single window so the Tails doll couldn't get in. The Tails doll banged on the doors as he was calling 911 and his parents. They rushed there quickly and killed the Tails doll before it could do any more damage. They tried to take all the victims to the hospital to see if they were still alive, but clearly they were dead. When the parents came home and were sad for the rest of their lives because their son had died, and plus their only babysitter died as well. And the reason why these two parents were out is because they're both very busy parents. I bet you guys were wondering that question, so I just answered it for you. They're busy parents. They can't help but leave their child with a babysitter. But after the Tails doll was taken away and killed, since it was still possessed, it healed itself for another day of crime. That's the end of my story, and I hope you guys liked it a lot. And please click that subscribe button, like, and comment, and I will see you all later. Bye!